Coming up,
Greenpeace, save the world!
Canadian playwright Oren Safdie.
Although, both my father and sister are architects, I know my father always said, if you really feel passion for something, you go no matter where you have to go to do it.
Stage
Upright.
Who needs you? And then there's that queen on whom you're still keen. Each time you use a penny, there's her face. Living in the past, still kissing her ass. Vive Quebec, long live our race.
My new play is called Fiddler Sub-Terrain, and it's a musical satire, political satire, based on Fiddler on the Roof. It contemporizes the original Broadway show and sets it in the backdrop of Quebec politics.
Gotta be outside in this storm, play hockey in the streets.
I was brought up at a time during Trudeau era where there was this idealistic notion that Canada could really be French and English and everyone could get along, and in this play I think I make reference to that.
I never should have taken her to those French-Canadian folk music appreciation classes in the East End.
What were you thinking?
I don't know. Trudeau idealism?
In his two plays, Jews and Jesus and Fiddler Sub-Terrain, Oren Safdie deals with the issue of a changing world. Since the beginning of the history of Quebec, we often compare ourselves on a French-speaking island in an ocean of English-speaking people. So from there, we have the feeling of being different or minority. But everybody in the world is a minority now.
Citizens unite! Build up the gene pool! I like that sea Kyle power! Hour after hour, the shower of adulation promotes circulation.
Jews and Jesus was, I guess, the first musical that I worked on with my partner, Ronnie Cohen.
Are you kosher?
Why? Is that not kosher?
No. Chocolate's kosher, see? It has the K.
Of course, but if you had meat.
3 hours early.
That's right.
It deals with interfaith relationships, Catholic and Jewish, and deals a lot with young people and their search for religion today.
Some blind dates are commonplace. Who's got a pulse? Nothing for everything.
Those nights when it's really going, it's a great feeling because you really feel like there's a connection between the audience and the play, and they understand it even if they're not from Quebec or Jewish, and the humor is coming across. And it's very entertaining. And then there's other nights when you will have just flatness in the audience and no one's really plugging into the play. And you feel like, well, how did I create this? I guess it's kind of like, giving birth to a child where you just some days you love the child and then you how did I produce this? But you can't do anything about it, really. It's just what it is.
It's a refreshing change. Broadway, off-Broadway. Down here you don't see an awful lot of musicals with an underlying theme of Quebec politics.
People could be offended by this in a certain sense, but this is not safe. And it gives the actors a lot. It gives me a lot to play on.
It's cerebral comedy. It's not campy, silly stuff. There's stuff that's going on that you have to think about while you're doing it.
He asks you to leave your family and join him in that frozen wasteland?
Well, at least it's not Siberia.
Oren really likes to take risks, and he wants to push things. He's not afraid of offending people.
I think French Canadians would be critical. I think Canadian Quebec Jews would be critical. Each see themselves being attacked. But I have a lot of admiration for his willingness to take it on.
I was in my last year at architecture school at Columbia University, all primed to go out into the workforce. And for some reason, I just felt like taking a playwriting course. And it just kind of something zapped me, and I realized this was really my passion. I hadn't had that kind of passion before when I was in architecture. And although, both my father and sister are architects, And I know my father always said, you know, if you really feel passion for something, you go no matter where you have to go to do it.
Upright.
In some ways, though I was disappointed, I was also relieved. I thought it would be a more wonderful life for him. I did not underestimate how tough it is to make it in writing. It's as competitive as field as one gets. But then, so is architecture, pretty tough. So there's no better way than to be in a field where you have absolute passion, because you'll just keep at it.
That's it, okay.
Understandably, I think my family was a bit shocked because I was not a student who wrote thousands of poems or was very much of an English student. But, you know, with time they came around when they started to see that I was very serious about it. And I think now their concerns is only that they don't show up in my work, you know.